Oh, I think we're going live now. So here we go. Resume recording. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever, whenever that you may be tuning in. This is Yonks, and this is another pre-launch working group for WeOwn.Academy, and this is a peer learning cohort that we're building for real estate professionals. And if you go to ai.weown.academy, and WeOwn.Academy is fresh off of the domain registration, literally just clicked on register this domain. And this was a slight pivot that we are doing from Hacker House. And I think I'm actually liking this because as I mentioned in an email, I would rather spend more time telling stories around We Own than around Hacker House, because that's where we have a long history of ethos. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let Tyler and/or I Am Lotus share any thoughts as far as what we should cover for our agenda today before we just get up and roll up our sleeves and build in public here.
Good.
We can go on.
All right, so megaphone. This is one of the things that we are going to be using Deform to create a feedback mechanism, because we're really wanting this to be not just some curriculum that we want to impose upon people. We really want to understand what that we want to learn as a peer cohort here as well. So anyway, megaphone, formerly Deform, and you can still see here that it goes to app.deform.cc/login. And I'm actually going to bring this off the screen and go through a continue with email process real quick. And we've used Deform for some stuff in the past. I can't remember how much time that we spent on a working group actually going through and configuring that. So here we go. Have you used Deform, Tyler? Were you involved too much, or was that mostly me that was doing that before?
I've used it a little bit, not enough to call myself an expert by any means. I'm familiar with it.
Okay, so we are setting up your workspace. It won't be too long. What is the name of your organization? So we're going to just call this here. This is our We Own Academy. And how did you hear about us? We went through this process a little bit yesterday, but this was with a different account and domain brand. Um, so let's see, recommendation, get started now. So these are the default forms that you see here, and we want to do a feedback form, and we're going to do a viral form, and we're going to use the email method. That's something that most people are familiar with. So here we go. This is the cover page. Do we want a cover page, or do we want it just to hop in? I guess we can figure out that later.
I think
Join
it's
them.
um if we wanted to have a video or an intro or something, that'd probably make sense for a cover. Are we able to do that, or is it just text?
No, you can put in, it's a pretty composable form. I mean, you can put in a video, you can put in other stuff. Let's work on enhancing that here later after we get some of the meat and potatoes in here. So short text, rate your experience. I think that we should have uh some sort of rate your AI experience. What do you think on that?
Your experience as far as how much you have or what your experience has been with it so far.
Well, I mean, so let's actually just take a step back here. So instead of looking on the form, let's just go over here to our tab, and I think I've got this open in too many tabs. I think I was accidentally clicking on it and it was opening up an excessive amount of tabs.
I think
So
I think the most important thing for us to know on the front end is who's on the bus, how much experience do they have in real estate, how much experience do they have in AI, and what kind, and what are they most interested in learning. If we know that, we can take all the curriculum that we have and just concentrate it into what the audience actually wants.
say that. Can you reword that in a slightly different manner?
Yeah, so experience in real estate, experience in AI, and biggest pain points in both of them. If we know that on the front end, what's your experience in real estate, what's your experience in AI, and what's your biggest pain point? If somebody says, I'm a 30-year deep real estate agent and I can't spell AI, that's different than somebody that says, I use AI all the time and I can't, and been a realtor for 6 months and I can't figure out how to get my first client. Those two people have different needs, and there's definitely something for both of them. Or somebody says, I know technology some, I use ChatGPT a little bit. I sell a house every month or two. I'm comfortable, but I'm not living up to my full potential in either area. That person is welcome too, but we just need to know, where are you in your real estate career? Where are you in your AI life cycle experience? And what is your biggest pain point? Nobody wants tools for the sake of tools. They want to know what they can solve, and I think we can do a really great job doing that.
Are you currently a licensed real estate agent broker?
Um, I Yeah, I actually, how much detail do we want to get on this thing? Because my thought would be, are we only marketing to realtors, or are we marketing to everybody who's a real estate professional, including people who are not licensed, like wholesalers and loan officers and people like that?
Well, I mean, let's just, you can see on my screen here, avatars for this cohort, CU Boulder Center for Real Estate, recent graduates. And we talked about having like a student discount, right, Tyler? Or a
Yeah.
young professionals.
Yeah, I would say young professionals, because my thought is, if you are, 19 or 20, number one, the odds of you having a real estate license are probably zero. Number two, you're not going to be able to implement these tools right away because you're still in school. I would just say maybe 25 and under, or 30 and
Yeah,
under.
I just put under 25.
Yeah. So
25 and older seems to be a fairly common societal break point
even if you don't
for.
feel like you're a real adult, you actually are. Um,
So young
so
professionals under 25 at $97 a month.
yeah, I think that's great. And I would love to get a hold of like a 23, 24-year-old realtor who's gung ho and savvy and just needs a little bit of gasoline on the fire. That person's perfect.
Limit five in first cohort, right? Limit five people. Is that what we wanted to limit it to?
Yeah, I think five's a good limit. If we end up getting requests for a lot more than that, we could actually do another, just like a student young professional
And I'll
cohort
just put five to
later.
seven.
Yeah, I think 5 to 7 is good. Like I said, if we end up getting overwhelming response, we could always do a second cohort that's focused on the needs of specifically that group. But yeah, right now 5 to 7 people is plenty in a 20-person cohort.
Okay, so and one of the things here, feedback form, when do we want to ask this question mark? And this is something too. We're going to be having the session with Alan from Noble Digital, and this is something that the guidance and the process that he has will provide some reflection. So just thinking about like, and let me bring open the calendar here because as you saw, and let me actually go to the Hacker House Academy. So here's some of our brands just to let and Hacker House, we're gonna decommission hackerhouse.net and transition it over to WeOwn.Network. Um, so and I got to decide if I can move the existing events because we already have the like here we're live on this event and I did get the event for tonight and then the one for tomorrow. And that's one of the things that I was just wanting to look at the calendar here real quick. Let's see here. Calendar week. So this is the 3Win DAO ecosystem calendar. This is the tool that we use, 3Win DAO, for our Fathom AI. So I'm going to put a uh, 11 to 2 Alan Noble Digital.com. Save. So we obviously won't be doing our this midday time slot on Friday. And I'm gonna say that not gonna be doing the one here tomorrow. Um, I'll evaluate right now. I'm thinking for that we want to do the Google Cloud or setting up Google Cloud infrastructure on Thursday during the same time slot. So um, probably not going to put anything on the calendar for that, but I'll put one here for Thursday during this time slot and Friday during this time slot. And we might do one, and I'll take a look. I'll have this conversation with Tyler as far as the Friday, and then as I mentioned, I'm going to be traveling on Saturday and Sunday and pretty much most of next week, and I'm not sure if going to prioritize doing any of these conversations there. So that's why really wanting to get a lot of this stuff in place here now. So anyway, getting back to the Google document here to organize these thoughts. So feedback form, when do we want to ask for this feedback? This feedback in the user journey. My thoughts are when that we want to ask for the feedback is after somebody has committed to onboard at the which will be in the webinar process. So, and we're going to set it up here on. I'm going to just take this off. Setting this up at forums.weown.academy slash feedback. Should we just call it feedback? The form feedback? That's good. Feedback form.
I would.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, the name of the form feedback. Yeah, that's fine. I was thinking about just feedback feels like something that you give after an event started, not um I call it welcome. I was thinking like calling it
Input.
welcome or intro or something like that
Um,
because it's really more about them introducing themselves to us to make sure that this program is customized and really tailored and perfect for what they want to do.
um, what did you call it? I don't know about.
I was thinking like intro or welcome or something in that vein, just because feedback feels like something that you give after something's already happened.
fair. So feed, even it's still a feedback form, but I appreciate like
Yeah,
um
so I mean, just the name of the form, just whatever, it doesn't matter. But the actual, um, I'm thinking like, welcome, let's get to know you. We want to provide this customized, tailored solution because you're somewhere
no,
in your
like
real estate journey and you're somewhere in your AI journey, and we want to cater to that.
let's roll with it. We'll call it welcome. Okay. So going back, so this is something that we will do after they've onboarded into the academy. Now, you were the other day you were talking about an Eventbrite. Is that something that you're still thinking of, Tyler?
I was more just thinking, and again, I don't know if Eventbrite is any good tool for signing up for a class, but since we're virtual and we're nationwide, I could potentially post this class in every major market in the country because who cares? Like it's just a virtual event. And if people are saying real estate Denver or real estate Nashville or real estate Dallas or whatever, and they come up with it, I just think it's just such an easy way to hit a different ecosystem.
So I don't know if you saw, but I created this reference tab here at the bottom, and this is I actually came across this when I was seeing if there was any cohort programs that did have an Eventbrite. And let me actually just share this here in the restream for everybody. So here's the link here. Currently discussing Eventbrite for our peer learning cohort. And there's the link that we're looking at right now. So this is from the CEP Learning Institute at cep.org, which is the can't remember the Center for Effective Philanthropy. So here, Tyler, you were talking about a 4 month cohort. We were having a side conversation on the duration. This one actually says 7 month cohort. And this has like I'm a huge fan of not necessarily go ahead, Tyler.
Scroll back up to the top of this page where it says join the waitlist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um,
Yeah, because this one just ended here. I believe this one went looking at the details. This was their cohort. This peer learning cohort is made up of 7 virtual sessions between January and July 2025. So this is one that's currently underway. So they're waitlisting because and this is something else that we had a little side conversation with Tyler as far as an application and or a waitlist process. One thing that I we agreed that that just adds some additional complexity because um, I will feel, regardless of how many people, if it's just me and you, Tyler, going through this, and we create our AI agency for real estate professionals that allow you to create a sales pipeline for building out WeOwn.Academy in our 4 target markets, Denver, Boulder, Twin Cities, Minneapolis, and St. Paul, Minnesota, upstate New York, which includes Rochester, Syracuse, and Ithaca, probably Rochester, Ithaca, and Syracuse, and then Buffalo in that order, and then Chicago area. And we already have, and I don't think it'll make sense for the existing house, but we could talk about that at May because we may anyway. I'm not going to bring that forward right now, but we can getting back. So let's did you see what you wanted to see here, or were you were just making note of the join the wait list?
yeah, I was just making, I just like everything about this page. I like the intro. I like the Join the wait list. I like that it's online. I like
And
that
here's an observation. I don't know if you saw that, but I did because I geek out on this. It's actually not a form. It's a mail to link. So when you click on this, it'll actually
Mhm.
open up a mail client. So I'll say that I wouldn't like that
Yeah,
workflow. I would rather have a form like what we're
sure.
building.
Yeah, forms are always better because yeah, yeah, forms are always better.
And the reason that like Megaphone deform is that it just makes it's just a beautiful form. Now anyway, going back, let's actually scroll down here. So this is a 7 month cohort, and they've got it broken down into a modular basis. I'm not sure what the time commitment is because this is one of the things. Like, let's actually go to the goals and FAQs because I wanted to capture a thought here real quick. FAQs. Um, what will be my weekly time commitment to participate to effectively participate within this cohort? All right. And I'll make this a heading. And this was just a thought that I had here. Anyway, coming back to in this cohort, you will deepen your knowledge of effective grant making practices, hone skills for your unique context, learn from guest speakers, founder examples, learn about. So yeah, this is a great page, and then they have the 7 months of modules probably here. Let's see, cohort welcome, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a capstone section. So the capstone was something that is interesting that Drew was talking about. I don't know if that's something that we need to build into this first cohort that
Oh,
we're doing, but
load it.
again, this is something
Jason,
in
hold,
the
hold,
reference section that you can.
Jason, hold on, hold on. Lotus, re, do you know what we're talking about in the capstone? Were you on that call?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so Drew had this idea that we thought was really interesting that to instead of just making this just a random class, we actually make it a designation. And if you want the designation, you have to do an optional capstone project that that shows that you've mastered what we're doing. And we could customize it to be something that really fits in your life or your business. But we're just trying to figure out how much people would be interested in learning only and how much people would be interested in learning to the point where they apply it. And if they apply it, it doesn't work, then we can help them and we can just make sure that they've got something at the end of this that's really helpful to them or their business.
Understood.
And I still think that there's a strong opportunity, and I'm not sure if there's a value proposition for like doing some credential. We do have on-chain creds as far as a brand, and this is one of the things that we can decide, and this is another potential feedback thing that we can get. But anyway, going back to our goals and FAQs as far as what we want to capture within the feedback form, and I'm going to actually just make a comment here. This uh, is primarily being discussed via pre-launch working group number 6 comment. Okay, so are you currently a licensed real estate agent broker? How long have you been a real estate professional? Uh, have you been? Are you currently using AI tools within your workflow? Okay, so what are some other things that we want to ask?
Um, I would, are we able to ask sub questions?
Yes.
Okay, so change number one to, are you a real estate professional? And then under that, oh, yeah, are you a real
Are
estate
currently a
professional?
real estate professional.
Well, yeah, and then
So how
underneath,
would I answer that question, Tyler?
well, this is what I'm saying is, are you a real estate professional? And then sub question, licensed realtor, wholesaler, mortgage broker, investor, or other,
I'll let you fill this in. Tyler, add details here.
do I have that link?
Um, I mean, I see you up here in the document right now, so yeah. It
Okay.
um, what AI are what AI tool are you most interested in learning more about? Okay, so we've got let's see, and I'm gonna move this reprioritize that later. So all right, so we're gonna be back here at 9 p.m. Mountain Time, 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Here is the event page. I'll throw a link in there for this. Copy link. We will be back for pre-launch working group number 7 tonight at 9 p.m. MDT, 11 p.m. EDT. RSVP on Luma. And this is one of the things that we'll just put it out here. You know, you don't have to hop in our Zoom to contribute meaningful things to this conversation. That's one of the reasons that we like to say that we're building a platform agnostic community. And this is something that I'll talk about here real quick. App.cg, we own, and this is something that I'll work on creating a AI Academy here for our conversations around this. And I should probably get a, oh, I'm not even signed in here. Let me see. Yeah, I'm signed in. Why am I not in this community? That's kind of weird. I'm supposed to be the admin of this community. Maybe it's not got me signed in properly. Admin. Yeah. Anyway. So join our Common Ground community. Join our We Own community on Common Ground. So this is something that we will continue to work on. The form, I've got an action item here to, let me go to our tabs over here. So I'll do an action item here. Action item for Yonks. Set up custom domain for our welcome feedback input form. Let's call this input form. So what else do we want to unpack, move forward? I'll probably work on getting some other things in place from infrastructure standpoint with WeOwn.Academy, since that is a new shift. I'm going to add that as an action item for Yonks. Continue transition from hackerhouse.net to WeOwn.Academy. And this is something WeOwn.Academy. WeOwn is going to be like we're planning to do an entire book series around WeOwn. It may even make sense to do a WeOwn.Academy on the book because there's a lot of opportunity. Like one thing that we want to figure out is apprenticeships.gov. This is there's opportunity to like with what we're doing to build WeOwn.Academy around an apprenticeship model. This one is going to be a peer learning cohort. And I think that we would probably all agree that an apprenticeship for like an electrician would probably look and feel very different than a peer learning cohort for real estate professionals that we're doing now. One that we absolutely want to facilitate is a peer learning cohort for legal professionals. Legal professionals are going to get wrecked by AI, and we want to create AI agency that our legal professional friends can own their own AI agency for. So excited to have those conversations, just sprinkling some thoughts around what we're building here. But anyway, I'm going to go on mute and let Tyler and or I am Lotus chime in. Any thoughts before we bring our sixth working group for our peer learning cohort for real estate professionals to a wrap here today?
I've been filling in this feedback form, and yeah, so I think um, the most helpful information for us to know is what do you want AI to do for you? Because I don't know that a lot of people have familiarity with most tools, and if they are very familiar with all the tools they need, they're not in our class. So I want to specify everything that AI can do, and then we'll see where the need is.
And I'm really glad that you brought in the investor because this is one of the things that could be a very interesting thing to do instead of just for real estate. And I don't even know if we should change real estate professionals because some people, real estate investors, may not self-identify as a real estate professional. Maybe we should just take it to AI for real estate. Let's just take off professionals right here. They're done. Look at how easy that is
Yeah, I think that's good. And
for real estate.
yeah, and the I know that the word AI agent is the right word, but one of the things that I think gets really confusing if you're not familiar with what an AI agent is, that you think that that's related to being a real estate agent because it's the same word. It's just
Well,
some
and
of the
that
terminology
if
stuff too.
and thank you for bringing that forward. To be clear, not planning and this is something that I think that we should unpack in our FAQs. Like, what is the difference between AI tools and AI agents, and providing that because here, while we're kind of still building the bridge to the future of technology, which is AI agents, we will still be using AI tools until that functionality all done natively within the AI agency model. But anyway, do you have any ideas, thoughts, feedback? I am Lotus for tonight's working group as far as things to target for tonight.
I think I like the entry of Tyler on lead generation because I believe that's the pain point that most real estate uh, professionals have is getting that lead generation and turning it into sales. So I'm glad we're addressing that.
Yeah, I think there's really only at the top of the funnel, there's really only two pain points that realtors have. You either don't have enough clients or you have so many people in your network that you don't have an automated way to have authentic touch points with them so that they keep being repeat clients. So that's it. You have too few people or too many. And I of the people who have exactly the right number of clients and they're always touching them and they're getting about the number of referrals they can handle and they're not overloaded and they're not scrambling for new business, that's I think probably 1%. Everybody is either in feast or famine mode all the time, or they're trying to figure out um, how to deal with an unexpected famine, like the housing market was really hot, then all of a sudden it isn't. Houses that were selling for over asking price in a day are now sitting on the market for 3 to 6 months. Um, so yeah, so I think it's it's also really interesting to see how much people don't realize how much you can still be authentic about um, a touch point with an AI component to it. So you want to touch all your clients on their birthdays, getting pop-up reminders, a birthday card with a pre-printed label ready to go, and then you just have to write something on the inside and mail it, and you've already got the birthday card ready, and you've already got the address ready, and you've already got everything ready. Um, but you can still write a quick note versus trying to remember all that manually or trying to manage it with calendar reminders and just other things that are inefficient times everything.
Well, and this is one of the reasons that we're going to be creating this too, is we, because everybody's going to have slightly different things that they're interested in. So this is a great start, Tyler, and this is something too that we just need to get great at getting feedback and creating feedback loops. And this is a feedback loop at the welcome side of the conversation. And then, you know, getting feedback after, maybe 2 weeks in, 4 weeks in, or whatever cadence, or even weekly feedback. Like I would, and this is something too that we can have fun. This is something that we're offering at a $497 price point. We're going to be doing our 50% two-tier affiliate. So that still gives us a good amount of way to do some incentivization for people in this class, like whether it's a Amazon gift card or whatever. I'm thinking out loud, but that's something that just the more that we can be creative to, because I think that we can all agree upon what you incentivize gets done. But anyway, we're 1 minute past the hour. Always want to be respectful of everybody's time. We'll be back here in 8 hours for working group number 7 for We Own Academy. AI for real estate. And I love taking out real estate professionals because see, and this is where we just make slight pivots to really work on refining the narrative. But I'm going to stop the screen share here. We're going to go grab some lunch. I'm getting hungry. And I'll let anybody else say goodbye before we bring today's working group to a wrap.
Hey, great job, everybody. Thanks.
Bye, guys.